Good morning, Stampers. This is Becky Hahn at Becky's Stampin' Studio in Davenport, Iowa, and it's Friday, so it's Fri-yay Fun Day with Becky. Today I'm sharing a fun fold that I saw on Susan Campfield's website. She's another friend from Minnesota. I had not seen this. And all the samples I have done are Becky Originals. So I took her design and kind of ran with it. This particular card that you see right here uses a level 2 bundle from the Celebration brochure. I wanted to share that with you. Here it is on page 12. If you purchase $100, you get the stamp set and 12 by 12 paper that is just absolutely gorgeous. And I'll share that with you here in a minute. Celebration is about to come to a close on Monday at 11:59 Mountain Time. So you still have time to place your order if you fell in love with this. It really is a nice bundle, and I fell in love with it. Here are the stamps. It has a wonderful bird and some flowers, some lovely sentiments, some two-step leaves, a little splatter, some little fillers. So it's really nice. No die this time, but it does have these stamps. And here's the DSP. The colors in it, let me check because they're just gorgeous as I'm looking at snow out my window. Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Shaded Spruce. They're all kind of mixed in from the stamp set. This is the Pool Party in the piece I'm using. This is all I have left. There's some Granny Apple Green. This one has a lot of the images, and you could color them in if you wanted it a little more intense. And there's the Pool Party with a little bit of the image. This one is actually a stamp. Here's some more Granny Apple Green. Love this stripe. I used this on one of the cards that I did with the blending brushes and the masks. Here's another Petal Pink. And then you've got your Fresh Freesia. See how nicely you can see they work together. And it's my understanding that you can take the stamp from the stamp set and stamp on some of these, although I have not tried it. So that's, and you can see where we've got all these. This is a little piece of one of the stamps, and that's one of the backgrounds. So it is a really, really pretty paper, nice and springy, and so I decided to use it one last time. So the fold we're doing is a combination. It's called a diagonal joy fold. It's a combination. A joy fold is two cards that you kind of intersect together, and usually you have a bigger card that goes this way, and then you create a smaller card that goes this way. And the size of the joy fold, the second card I call it, depends on what you're going to stamp and put on it. I decided to use some of the images from the Friendly Hello. The words are also from a level 2 celebration set called Special Moments. I love, love, love this stamp set. Because it has so many possibilities. Let me grab that for you. I used the Thinking of You. I love that font. I couldn't wait for a special occasion. It's okay to feel the feels. Thanks for brightening up my day. I think you're wonderful. Yeah, so there's just a lot of possibilities in there. I will probably continue to use that when celebration's over. So we have a diagonal fold with a DSP, and then we have the joy fold. These are really fun to make. I did this one. As you can tell by my voice, I am still fighting, I don't know what. And I am on antibiotics now, so hopefully I'll get to feeling a little better, but my energy level is still not back to where it needs to be. So let's take a look at this. And I do have a couple samples for you at the end. I think as you're looking at this and thinking of what you might have, I would look first for a pretty designer paper to put on the corner. Granted, when you close it, you don't see a whole lot of it, but once you open it, you do. And then be looking for something on the second card, the joy part of it, that's joyful. In my case, I stamped, but it could be coordinating paper. I'll show you a couple of my other samples. So if you're kind of thinking along those lines, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Episode 17 already, with a couple skipped in between. And I may not be here next Friday. I am going to Florida to visit a friend, and I will try to get something taped before I leave so I can load it while I'm there. I'm taking my laptop. But if I don't, I so apologize. I love to share with you. It's just a matter of energy and timing. Okay, so what you're going to need to make this card, and I've kind of kept it generic here. This I did post on my blog yesterday, so it's already there. And the other two samples I will try to get on there soon. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a full sheet of cardstock. In this case, I used Pool Party because it coordinates with the DSP. And I cut it in half lengthwise. So when you cut it in half lengthwise, you turn it on the 11.5-inch side, find 4 1/4 and cut it in half, and you then have 2. Okay? Then what you're going to need, we'll get back to the other pieces as we go, all right? So what we're going to, I have directions. Maybe I need to, excuse me. It's kind of that COVID fog I'm still dealing with, believe it or not. Okay. You will need, for the second card, I used the same color for this one, but you wouldn't have to. I guess I did for all of mine. You wouldn't have to. For the second card of the Joy card, it's 3 by 8. Okay. And you're eventually going to fold that in half to make it 3 by 4. Grab your bone folder. Okay. The DSP, well, here we go. Starts out 4 by 5 1/4. So it's already trimmed so that when you put it on your card, I like 1/8 of an inch, not 1/16. You've got about 1/8 to a 1/16 inch all the way around. So if you cut this, not 1/4, but 4 by 5 1/4, and I'll show you how to diagonally cut that so it works. Keyword, so it works. Then you need 2 basic white pieces. You'll notice I didn't always do that either, but these are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so those are the pieces you need to make this card. So one of the first things then we're going to do is take the base, get it prepared, and we're going to fold that in half and give it a really good crease. I'm finding these at first are kind of bouncing around. My Pool Party must have a lot of color in it. When they color cardstock, sometimes the dies have a lot of clay in them, and that's why some are crunchier than others. Okay, so you're going to take your trimmer. Okay, I have the fold over here. We're going to put it in the trimmer so the crease is at the top, and you're going to diagonally cut to the lower right corner. Okay, hold on tight, and ta-da. Okay, that's all it takes. Easy peasy. Now we've done crisscross cards, or I used to call these rips and flips, and sometimes we turn this piece and use it. In this case, we're not going to use this piece, so save it for another project or to cut pieces out of. Okay, that's done. Then let me grab my directions wherever I so safely put them. There they are, under things. Okay, so you can see those. These are on my blog. They will be linked in the comments below. Okay, so fold the base in half. You'll diagonally from the lower. I'm sorry to keep moving things, but I kind of work right here in front of my camera. So now you're going to take that DSP. Wrong one. Here it is. And you need to make sure you put it in the trimmer so it too cuts from the top left corner down to the lower right. I'll show you what happens when you don't. Okay, so I had this and getting ready for class. I put it in there incorrectly. Okay, remember I said put it in so it's upper left down to lower right. I just stuck it in there and cut. Okay, so now when I'm ready, so don't feel bad if it happens. It happened to me. It doesn't fit. Okay, we're going the wrong direction. The only way it would fit is if I flipped it over, which I will probably do, but then I have to change my whole color scheme and theme. Okay, so that's just a aha moment. So you take the DSP and cut the same direction, and you won't be using this. So you have enough, and as I prepped for class, you have enough for 2 cards, or share with a neighbor or a friend if you have a friend over to stamp. So when I got my card all together, I analyzed it and I thought, this is kind of smooth. I wanted some texture. You could use an embossing folder. I had thought about putting jewels on it, and I ended up doing something completely different. This is a die that's in the annual catalog called Stitched Greenery. And what I did is I put it on the back base, and you use this like you would any kind of die. So use the same sandwich. I sent it through, and you get this lovely, lovely, I hope you can see that background. Okay, it doesn't make it too textured on the back. So I'm going to work on the rest of my card from here, okay? And it really goes together fairly basically. And then I'll give you some hints. Okay, so we've already folded this. Now what did I do with my DSP pieces? They're in a safe. They all went over here. Okay. And you might want to consider, now see, these have an all over design. If you have a directional piece, you might have to think it through a little bit. Believe me, thinking things through at the moment is not my cup of tea. The brain just is not working. And I was fully vaccinated and boosted, just saying. Okay, so you'll put your DSP piece here. Can you see where I have, it probably ends up being more like a 1/16 of an inch for mine, which is not what I generally do. All right, so then we have this card is pretty well ready to go. So now we have our second card. It's Joy Fold. You're going to fold this in half, and then we're going to decorate. So what I have is those 2 pieces of white. I'm going to move this. And what I decided to do is I figured out, kind of like a Stamparatus, and I could have used the Stamparatus, and I figured out the placement of the flowers and the words and put them on one block. Just a tip and hint there. That works really well, but so does your Stamparatus. And of course, oh no, not too far. Okay, so my girls could just go in, ink it up, and stamp. I mean never, I never stamp a photopolymer stamp without a cushion. I've cut one of our piercing mats, which are available this season, in half. I put it in my craft bag, and it's just really handy. I just used a box cutter and cut it in half. There is no cushion on this, especially when you have a larger stamp. Sorry, I'm bouncing my camera. So you need to make one. You can use a magazine, your catalog, anything with a cushion so it picks up these rigid edges that we don't have because we don't have the cushion on it like we do our clear mountain stamps. All right, so look at this. It's all ready to go. I'm going to have to stick my head in I made sure the thinking of you was straight. I have a fresh memento pad. Don't ask me how, because they've been on back order and come back in. You can't find them anywhere. There, ta-da. So don't forget to give this a try. This is an E-block. So that one's done. And what I decided to do on the inside, okay, that takes care of that, was put in the little flower. But after I got this done, I didn't like it peeking out of the edge. And I shared that with my ladies last night, and they had success. So I am going to take this little stamp, and I'm going to put it down here instead. And what I'm also, since I have this fresh memento pad, what also is giving this time to dry, because memento pads are recommended with alcohol. I'm going to color this a little bit with a blend. It's still, you might want to dry it a little bit with your heat tool, or stamp it ahead of time and let it dry really well. Okay. And I only use memento with my photopolymer stamps. Stays on is to make them too sticky. If you find them sticking to your cardstock and lifting off layers, you've used the wrong ink. I don't, unfortunately, use my Stays On very often at all. Okay, so let's put this together. My good old Stampin' Seal. If it's, I just loaded a new one in it, so I need to get it started. My last class before I leave is over at our care facilities. I have 2 classes. So I will need to have that stuff all ready to go. All right, so there's the inside. I'm going to go ahead and color this. I've used my Pool Party blends. And I want most of it white. So I'm doing the flick technique here, where I'm going to lay down, flick, flick. I should do a class on coloring. I love to color. I have taken painting classes. And I have a mother who does some gorgeous painting. She's done China painting, and yeah. So she shared things with me as well. I know she still likes to color. My grandma said she liked to color as a little girl. I did too. Okay, so that just lays down some of the color. Remember, blends do bleed. Blends bleed. And then if you want to deepen it, you notice I'm kind of following the artists, all artists. Usually when you have these lines, these are shading lines or directional lines. Use them to your advantage. Okay, and I'm just mostly to the center with a darker color. This will lighten up as it dries. And then I frequently come back in, and I'm using the brush tip. Well, first of all, I'm going to give something under here. I will sometimes come back and blend that if it looks like I have colors that are, you can see the stop and starts. Okay, there we go. Now you could color the centers yellow, whatever you like to do. I'm going to put a jewel in there, so I'm not going to worry about it. So this is a time where I happen to have a stamp set that coordinates with my paper. All right? Isn't that cool? I just love it. All right. So now we need to put this. Did you see how I did that? This goes inside. It's a flippy flop. I've made it so that the dimensions here will clear this when it closes. You can use tear and tape to make sure, because whenever you have a working card, but I am just as happy with my Stampin' Seal. And I do not have the plus right here. I do have it. Okay. Then to put this together, I kind of slide that in, and I want it, oops, that's not working. You can start by centering it in here, but before you push it down, you want to make sure your corners are where you want them, and that it's straight. That does not look straight. Get out my super duper ruler here. And no, it's not. That'll work. I'm happy with that. Flip, flop. Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, forgot to do the little flower inside. Oops. I want that tip on this part. You could color that whole thing in or just shade it like you did the other one. I never scribble, scribble, scribble with a blend. It ruins your tip, and these aren't crayons. And then I'm taking the dark and the bold tip. That's what I use to get into the smaller areas. Okay. And then you can write or stamp something from the stamp set or one of your stamps that you like. Okay. So what this still needs, I thought, was some bling. My Stampin' Up! Group, see it's a little darker right now, is called the Glitter Gal Gang. And so the head glitter gal, needs to add bling. What I did on mine is we have coming out on Tuesday the Waves of the Ocean promotion. And one of the things, these are called Rhinestone Waves, Basic Jewels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different blues and greens, and I just love them. So I used some of the blue ones, these lighter blue ones, on my windmill card 2 weeks ago. And this one right down here I thought was Pool Party. And so I have 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 7 gems on here. So I did not give these to my ladies. I encouraged them to buy them for all of their blue needs. So what we did, and a couple of the gals went, oh, I forgot about that. So I'm going to share with you really quickly. Don't forget that you can take a blender pen. Now, I have blender pens. Let's see what the end of this looks like. Yeah, it's losing ink. I have blender pens that I use in class, or I use for coloring gems or coloring glitter paper or whatever. And I mark the end with nail polish when it's time to shift it. This is a new one. This goes in my case. So this one goes in a drawer for this type of purpose. So that's just a tip. And I use the darker if I need to, because that tip really gets a beating. Let's see, I had 2 large ones, 2 medium. I don't know if I don't see the medium here, so we'll just go. So you color those. See, I have a pink one here, and I've had some pink ones. So I do you can do pearls. There isn't much that an alcohol marker, and it dries fairly quickly. And if you want it a little darker, let it dry and come back. Okay, like so. So I use the big ones. So if you have blends, you can, alcohol markers, period. This isn't as intense. I can always go back over the top once it's on the card. And there, it's not clear, okay? But the wave ones are really great. So you can get those starting Monday, okay? All right, so that's this version. I did 2 others that I'm real happy with. They too are Becky Originals. I mention that because a lot of times I take a twist, or I do one and maybe you do too that you've seen, and then I improve on it or switch it up or do whatever. So in light of trying to keep using pretty paper, and since the holidays are not over, I have not used this paper since probably October, and it is probably one of my most favorite ever. It's artistically inked. It's in stock. We had troubles keeping it in stock, and you check out the colors. So this is Magenta Madness that is due to retire here in April soon. So if you like it or you have the paper and you want to coordinate with it, the ribbon will be the same way. Actually, this is polished pink, and it goes so well with this. So here's what I did. I actually cut 2 of these pieces. This is paper, not the white. I cut 2 of these pieces, couldn't decide which side I wanted to use, so I put one on the inside. Why not? Then hiding down here in the corner, because I didn't want it hanging out here, I stamped the flower that comes with this coordinating set. Okay, the artistically inked. I used the little flower. On the front, I embossed in gold the happy birthday. Okay, and again, you can see that stitched greenery embossing folder for the background. Isn't that just awesome? I was so pleased with this when it was finished. So I did add a ribbon of polished pink. These are our gilded gems. I debated about scattering them, but the paper is so pretty, so I had debated about doing this on the Friendly Hello. So this is my version of this with artistically inked. And then Susan Campfield had a version. Unfortunately, I hope you got this paper one. I recommended you get it before it left. It was limited edition. It goes with the stamp and die set called Eden's Garden. And these are the dies. They are in our mini catalog, so these are still available. Just that this gorgeous paper isn't. So on this one, I did my own thing. A lot of Susan's were on white, and I'm not a white card-based person if I can help it. So this is Soft Succulent. No, I did not use the stitched greenery. I had been wanting to try to find something, and there's a lovely border that I mitered here at the corner and kind of this tag thing underneath, and I used the gilded gems again. And then on the inside, I did put a piece of white and a few stamps down at this corner. So you do see it when you open it one time, but not the other. So anyway, that's another one. If you find it's doing a number like this, which mine is no longer doing, okay? It just takes pressure. It depends on the cardstock, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the other things you can get, and I wanted to share this with you, these are Velcro, clear Velcro fasteners. I thought they were made by Dritz, but I can't. No, it's made by the Velcro Corporation. I love these because they're small, they're manageable. I put them together, the male and female together, so all I have to do is cut one off. So you may want to, and then when you open it, they're clear. You don't see them. So they're there but doing a job, but they aren't. Okay? Last but not least, I wanted to share with you, and I think I can, if not, mum's the word, beginning on the 1st of March, which is Tuesday, also when you can get the Waves, the ocean promotion. We are starting just for the month of March a sale that's called Savings Are in Bloom. What they are doing, and this is just our little mini boss, my baby boss, they offering that 20% off. It comes with all the plates you need, the little machine. It retails at $60, so that takes $12 off. That makes it $48. So if that's been on your wish list. And then what they've done is they've taken floral-ish stamp bundles and have also discounted those 20%. So you can see here, this one was $50. It's now $40. I have this. This is my sheet. I've used it so much, it's so wrinkled. I apologize. So these are also 20% off as a bundle. Okay, I will be sharing and doing some things. I've used these that have a check mark, so I'll try to show you. This is one of my faves. This makes fun shaker cards. So these are designed so that the dies that come with these floral, it's Savings Are in Bloom, will work in our mini Stamp and Emboss, Cut and Emboss. Okay, another one is the Art Gallery bundle. This one was a bundle a year ago in our mini catalog. They separated it. They are bringing it back together at the bundle price. Look what you can save. Beauty of Friendship. I have the canopy, but I don't, the inspiring thoughts, I do not have this one. Celebrate sunflowers. This is gorgeous, this detail. I've got some new things with it. I do not have the Garden Wishes. I got Nature's Harvest instead. The Hydrangea Haven bundle. The Pansy Patch bundle. Quiet Meadows bundle. The Seascape bundle. I've used this. Sweet as a Peach. Yay. The papers are still available. Welcoming Window bundle. What's Cooking? I haven't even used mine yet. And the Wild Cats. So all of those are 20% off. They have reassured us that the warehouses are full, but it is while supplies last. But I also have another little deal for you. How would you like to save even more? You could save even more by joining and becoming a demonstrator. Right now during celebration, our kit, which is always $90, and you choose what you would like in your kit. During celebration, if you have your brochure, you can look, you pick 2 stamp sets that you would like to have, and that is added free into your kit. Once you have joined, now if you wait until March 1st, the 2 extra stamps are gone, but the kit will still be $99. The neat thing is, for me, I already have the little emboss. Fortunately, I have a lot of these bundles, but as a demonstrator, I get these at 20%, and the initial discount for a new demonstrator is 20%. How would you like to get all of these things 40% off? That's the discount you'd get, or used to get, at Hobby Lobby and or Michael's. So if you are interested in signing up, go to my website. The instructions are there. Give me a call. This is an awesome deal and an awesome time. The end of March, we will be seeing the new catalog online, and we can start pre-ordering the 1st of April. Get in on the fun. It is really, really amazing. I have a lot of happy stampers that have signed on just to get a discount on their supplies that they craft with all the time. So to finish up, hopefully I will see you next week. If not, you know, I'll be sunning in Florida. I do not do the beach. I'm a winter girl. I love snow, so I loved what we had. So here is our diagonal flip flop, or diagonal joy fold, and I hope you'll give it a try. And hopefully we'll see you next week. If not, we'll see you in 2. Thanks a bunch. Have a great weekend.